Just like straight up around the bird, around the bird, around the bird, around the bird.
Reggie Watts. Does that have a name, Reggie?
What's that?
Does that have a name?
Yes.
Okay. All right, now...
Masterfully played. I beg your pardon.
Is that one of your chime-ins?
Why don't I sit this one out?
All right, so how many of you have actually heard the show before? Anyone in the room? Oh, good. Well, we have a regular feature on the show that we like to do, and I have an all-star panel up here, and I thought we would play it. Let's get that reverb ready, because... and I'll give you, tell you what I'll do. I'll give, like, the flag, like, when I need it. It'll just, and this is not it right now, but it'll just be kind of like this. And then all of a sudden it'll come in, and it'll be amazing. All right, so it is time to play Would You Rather? Okay, that's the theme song. It's time to play your favorite pastime here, Would You Rather, an all-star-studded edition of it. Every week I get tweets from my Twitter account, at Scott Aukerman, and a lot of people, they chime in with these. They do their patented chime-ins on my Twitter account. They send me these Would You Rathers, and I share them here with you, and basically that's all you need to know about it. We'll go through any of the other rules that we need to know as we're doing it.
Oh, so, and it was invented by Kevin Nealon.
Yes. Regular listener of the show.
I love Comedy Death Ray Radio.
So we're going to start, and basically, Reggie, you're going to play too. Is that all right?
Yeah, that's all right.
Okay, so we got 4 players up here. I will moderate. The only rule is that you cannot vote before. I'm going to open the floor for questions, and you don't vote before it's time to vote, okay? Have it, Todd?
What? So you're going to give me a would you rather?
Todd, it'll all be clear to you once we start playing.
Well, you looked at me as if, Todd, do you have any questions? That was what the look was.
No, there was more of a look of, Todd, don't chime in at this point.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You act like I'm a loose cannon or something.
You are the bad boy of comedy.
I'm just sitting here, man.
He's a
trying to
regular
help
Charlie
out.
Callis over there.
Okay.
So here we go. Let us go to our first one. This comes to us from Metalson. Metalson asks, would you rather be addicted to heroin and...
Yes.
Nick, you're not supposed to vote.
Okay.
That is a classic would you rather blunder right out of the gate. Interrupting before the question is... See, that is... I have to say that is almost grounds for an instant disqualification.
I won't do it again.
You won't do it again?
I swear
you have to
you.
promise.
I just heard heroin.
Oh, okay. I know
sorry.
that gets you excited. All right, so just sit back there and let me get the full question out, and then be totally silent until I open the floor for questions. And then once the questions are open, then let the floodgates.
I'm not even going to interrupt this part.
Oh, okay, good. Okay, fantastic. All right, here it comes from Medelson. Would you rather be addicted to heroin and love country music, or always say racist things on accident and own no shoes? All right, I am opening the floor for questions right now. Anyone have any questions? Just jump in.
I have a question.
Ice-T off the bat with a question.
Are we talking classic country like George Jones, Johnny Cash, Hank Sr., or are we talking about the more modern stuff like Taylor Swift and that?
Great question, Ice-T. See, now this is exactly how you play Would You Rather.
Thank you.
See, Ice-T knows because he's a listener of the show. He knows get in there early with the questions. The more information you have about this particular scenario, the better you'll be able to vote. Todd, I'm sorry. I know you look like you're about to ask a question. I'm going to have to admonish you and tell you, please do not ask a question until I've answered the previous question. All right, so now, back to Ice-T. I am ready to answer your question, which is that it is the latter. It is the more modern country, not Taylor Swift necessarily, but you're a big Garth Brooks fan. You have all of the box sets. So more in the modern 90s country, kind of Billy Ray Cyrus, that end.
May I ask a follow-up?
See, now this is also exactly how you play. Getting a follow-up in before anyone else can do it. Okay, Ice-T, I'm all yours.
do I genuinely love the country music, or do I know I'm trapped in a psychological prison?
That is a great question, and unfortunately, you do know. Whatever choice you make, you remember your life from before, and you remember how great you had it when you hated country music.
You've given me much to think about.
All right, so the floor is open. Anyone else want to chime in?
People...
Todd Barry has a question. I'm going to let me turn my entire body towards you.
Oh, don't knock yourself out. Do people think that we're racist when we say the accidental racist things, or are they so out of context that they make us just look crazy?
Great question. It's actually
really good. For my first question, that's pretty good.
That is a great question.
It's
No,
a
okay,
really-
that
it's a
is
solid
on
question.
that is on the latter side of you're always saying racist things on accident and you own no shoes. Basically, yes, people know you're being racist. They don't get that it's on accident. But they are a little bit distracted by your lack of shoes, and so maybe they don't quite hear it. It's kind of one of those things where they get home and they go, hey, that guy was kind of racist.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, but am I allowed to give an opinion on that? I don't know what the rules are for this.
Sure, give an opinion.
No, I would think the no shoes would just make you look like a crazy person. And then they'd maybe go, he's not really racist.
Okay, that is... if you want to phrase that in the form of a
Sorry to
question next
overthink
time...
this game, but...
No, that is a
Phrased
great
in a
point.
question, I apologize.
That is a great point. Basically, yes, people know it's you. In this scenario, you become so famous that that's one thing that we should establish. You become really famous, and famous for doing what you love, which you is stand-up comedy. So they know it's you. They then leave this chance encounter with you thinking that you are racist and have no shoes for some reason. But they don't think you're a crazy person. They know it's you.
Scott.
Yes.
May
Ice-T.
I ask a question?
See, now Nick and Reggie, I have to say, you guys are just sleeping.
I had one. I had one set up.
You had one in the chamber?
I had
All right.
one-
But I'm sorry, I can't take it until we get to
It
Ice-T.
wasn't locked, I guess.
You snooze, you lose.
It was loaded.
Anonymous.
Was that a quote?
I always attribute my quotes.
Anonymous.
About this shoe business.
Yeah.
I know I don't own any shoes, but do I still have shoes to wear? Like, am I renting shoes, or are people donating shoes to me and then taking them back?
That's interesting. Well, basically
you.
what you're asking is that is the world your shoebox, where basically people around the world love Ice-T so much that they say, hey, Ice-T has no shoes, and they just give you shoes as you walk through their town, much like Bruce Banner in The Incredible Hulk. Sad music plays, you walk through their town, they see Ice-T.
Well, but nobody knew he was the Incredible Hulk.
But they felt
That's
sorry.
why he was going from town to town. He was on the run. He was eluding the reporter, Jack McGee.
That's true. That's a good
Or was
point.
that the name of the actor? I can't remember. I think that might have been the actor's name.
I'm not sure. I thought it was Lou Ferrigno.
He played... Lou Ferrigno did double duty as both the Incredible Hulk persona and the reporter who was chasing
Yeah.
Dr. David Banner, Bruce Banner in the comics.
I forget your question.
My question is, do I still have access to shoes, or am I constantly walking around barefoot?
You have no access to shoes. That is a great question.
That
Thank
is a
you
great
very much,
question.
Ice-T.
I take
Anyone
your
else have a
compliment.
question before I close? Nick and Reggie, you're not getting in.
I'll let Reggie go. I'm going to let Reggie go.
Oh,
It's a
the
real
gentleman.
short one. It's a real short one.
All right.
What the country music thing?
Yes.
Is it what time period is the country music from? Is it like the old?
Oh, now see, Reggie, that is a classic would you rather blunder. That question has already been asked. That is a wasted opportunity, Reggie.
I feel sorry for Reggie right now.
Yeah, that's I can't imagine how bad he must feel.
All
right
right.
now.
Yeah, can I step in and just ask
I
a
am
quick?
going to... Yes.
It's
Nick.
over. Or if it's done, it's done.
Oh, I was just about to pause to let you ask a
Okay.
question, but
It's done.
unfortunately, you did not ask it. And
I have a
it's
question,
done, it's
Scott.
done.
Oh, yes. Do I have time to get in? Yes. Do I have time to get in my question?
Yes, please.
The heroin.
Yes.
How good is this heroin? Is it premium quality heroin?
What's the best heroin that you, Ice-T, have ever had?
Oh, probably Boardman's.
Boardman's.
Yeah, I was attracted to the packaging.
It's
They do like an Art Deco style package on the heroin.
it's like that heroin, but 10 times better every single time you use it.
Follow-up question, Scott.
Very good. Yes, Ice-T.
How long do I live?
Okay, well, that is an interesting question, and that is a classic would you rather question. Okay, you have
That
two...
determines. You understand where I'm headed with this?
Sure.
Because I'm tortured by the knowledge that I didn't used to be a fan of modern country,
But the heroin is
but the
really
heroin
great.
is so good. But if I'm a heroin addict, let's face it, I'm not going to live together forever. I don't like my chances.
Right.
So maybe it's best to flame out, and surrender myself to the throes of this heroin addiction.
Right.
And let that replace the blood in my veins, and then eventually become a husk, so that I don't have to live that long.
Yes,
with
I
this
see where
modern
you're going.
country music. I know. I probably didn't need to explain the whole thing like
No,
that.
I see where you're going with it.
But you see what I'm saying. So I want to know, like, is the heroin good heroin that's gonna like just snuff me out after a very short period?
That is a great question. Actually, in the heroin scenario, you live a long, long life, and you have many grandchildren and great-grandchildren. You have to live with the regret that you love country music now,
Right.
and all of your grandchildren and great-grandchildren know you are a heroin addict.
I have one final question then.
Oh, sure. Yeah, no problem.
God damn it.
I'm sorry, Nick. It's called Would You Rather, not Let's Wait for Nick. Here's my final question.
Sure, I see.
Am I a good grandfather?
Ice-T, you're the best grandfather.
Scott, I don't want to cry in front of these people.
All right, the floor is closed. No more questions. We are going to have to vote. Let me remind everyone of what the question was. It was, would you rather be addicted to heroin and love country music, or always say racist things on accident and own no shoes? Reggie, I'm going to go to you for the first answer here.
I would rather do the country music heroin thing.
And why is that?
Well, because it just seems like it's the first thing that you said. It's the first option that you gave, and usually that's always the answer.
Okay. Now, many people would say choose C every time.
Yeah. Well, except for when it's
That's the
when it's
LSATs.
first.
That's the LSATs. That's right. Okay,
Yeah,
thank you. Now, Todd Barry, that was a great chime-in, by the way.
That was.
Kudos
I
to you.
think finally I knew it.
Finally, you got
Still
one.
the master.
I just
Todd Barry, we're going to turn to you. How vote ye?
I guess I would choose the life of a heroin addict. Country music is, it's a solid form of music.
So you already like country music.
No. But I don't know. Do you really want to be a racist?
That's true. So you do not want to be a racist in any conditions. So you would rather be a heroin addict than be a
I'd rather
racist.
have a life of a
That is
kind of a
admirable.
cool junkie, surprising junkie.
That is admirable. All right, I'm going to turn to...
I'm not done answering
Oh,
this
okay,
question.
sorry. Here we go.
Like, people didn't expect me to be a junkie, and he's a junkie, a functioning junkie.
A funky.
Yeah,
I was going to say that.
always backstage at a Loretta Lynn show. Do you guys know who she is? She does country music. It's weird that you don't know who she is.
Todd, with your permission, I'm going to now turn to my right and ask...
No, I realize Ice-T didn't get enough words in today. So
Ice-T, how do you vote?
Well, first of all, let me say this, Todd Barry. Excuse me for living. Secondly, on the one hand, I feel like I'm already always saying accidentally racist things, right?
That's true.
Like, that's my life. My mouth gets ahead of my brain, and no restaurant will deliver to my house anymore. Because I've said some stuff over the phone just trying to get some pork fried rice that you would not believe.
Yeah, I can imagine. So...
On the other hand...
Yes,
I
Ice-T.
would like to be a good grandfather.
Oh.
I would like to believe that I have it in me to educate not just the next generation, but the generation to come. So I say, shoot me up with that China White, if that is a kind of heroin. The heroin thing. That's my
Ice-T,
choice.
I have to say that in all my months of doing Would You Rather, that is the most beautiful monologue I have ever heard. Thank you for that answer.
Well, I just say what's in my heart, Scott.
Thank you. All right, well, that's the first round. And
What?
It seems point of order.
let's go on
Because I didn't ask a question, I don't get even to answer it?
No, oh, yeah, you didn't know that rule?
No.
If you don't ask a question,
No, you
don't
didn't
get
say
to
any of the rules beforehand.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I know Nick
All
rules.
right, so we're going to move on to our second
this-
and final
It's a fucking
question.
bloodbath, this game, man.